I'm Lynne Boyer, and you're listening to The Heart of the Y, a podcast that celebrates the experiences of our Y professionals. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Heart of the Y podcast. I'm your host, Lynne Boyer, VP of Community Impact here at the YMCA of Greater Nashua. The Heart of the Y is a somewhat new podcast series where I interview one of our amazing staff here at the Y and learn more about them, and then we're able to in turn share that with our members and our staff and broader audience. So I have with me today Jackie. So Jackie, please introduce yourself and your title here at the Y.
Hi, my name is Jackie Hancock. I am the Senior Director of Member Experience here at the Y. I've been here for 7 years.
Great, thank you and welcome. So tell us a little bit about yourself. So, where'd you grow up? If you had any exposure to the Y, what you kind of wanted to do for a career in your life.
Yeah. So grew up in Hollis, New Hampshire, so right up the street. I actually learned to, I actually learned to swim here, supposedly. There's pictures, but I don't really remember it. Here at the Merrimack Y when I was very, very young. But I didn't grow up necessarily being a Y kid, but after college is when I started, or when I was introduced to the Y. So I originally went to college. I went to college for biology. And when I got out of school, I was working at a golf course seasonally, looking for a full-time job or even a part-time job. And one of our regulars at the golf course came to me and said, "Hey, I just started at the Y. Do you want a job?" Like,
oh, wow.
Obviously the golf course is going to close in the fall. So I said, yeah, absolutely. So I went and I interviewed at the Granite Y for a part-time position at the Welcome Center. And I got the position. From there, I was, I worked there for about a year, and then eventually a full-time position opened up at the Goffstown Y. I applied for that, and that was like a membership coordinator position. And that's kind of where my Y journey really began, because once I started over there, I started getting involved in all sorts of stuff. So I did a little bit of camp, a little bit of administrative stuff. I did swim team for a little while, which is really weird. So that's where I was like, okay, this is great. I get to do a little bit of everything. I eventually left the Y, went back to school for a little bit. At that time, I had gotten married. We had started a family. So this is like years later. And once I had my daughter, I had stayed home. So I stayed home with her for the first couple of years. And then, had some pretty big life changes and was looking for another job. And that's when I stumbled upon the Nashua Y.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that part about biology. So every time I do one of these, I learn something new. And so that's really cool. That's really interesting. So similar to so many people in the Y movement, you kind of fell into the Y, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My background's in water quality.
Okay.
So
okay.
Nothing to do with this at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were chatting before we started recording, and so you kind of have a unique story about how and when you came to the YMCA of Greater Nashua.
Yes. So I came in 2019. I had a really good friend who worked here, who I had worked with at the Granite Y. She was our CEO's executive assistant. And when she knew I was looking for a job, she was like, "Hey, you got to apply here. This is right up your alley." And background, all of my really good friends I had met at Granite Y, and they're still like my very close friends. And in fact, one of them I ended up marrying. So.
And where did he propose?
At the Y.
Of course.
But yeah, so she convinced me to apply for this job, and it was 2019. And by the time I got hired and onboarded, it was end of December. So I think my official start date is like December 31st or something crazy, because I didn't want to start during Christmas, which meant that 4 months later, we closed for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, how do I do my job now?
Right. Yeah, you were kind of just starting to feel your groove and get into everything. And then suddenly we had this major crisis, shutdown, everything.
I had to manage all of these people and all of these members. And there's 3 of us in membership. And it was such a wild experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. And then not a temporary experience, right? So it was kind of, kind of lengthy. So even as we opened back up and we had
Hmm.
these new policies, procedures, they were,
Yeah.
temporary, but it took us a while to ease back into things. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's safe to say you've, really found your groove again since then. So,
Yeah,
um,
I'm happy to say that I'm still answering, or I'm happy to say that we found our groove, and I'm still answering questions. I actually answered a question today from a member who came in and said, "Do I still have to make a pool reservation?" And I
oh
said,
wow.
"No."
Yeah, that's so funny how these like
Yeah,
relics of that time still pop up here and
feels
then.
like
That's so
so
funny.
long ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's one of your favorite things about the Y? It could be a program or, maybe just seeing members on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
What gets you up and into the building every day?
Um, a couple things for sure. So I love the idea of a community. I love walking around and knowing that everybody's here for a different reason,
Mhm.
right? I walked by a member today who was eating his breakfast, and I thought to myself, like, he's eating his breakfast, he's preparing to be here for, like, I know he's going to be here for hours. Um, so I love knowing that we are that place for so many people, right? Like, we're sometimes, we learned this during COVID, that we're sometimes the only people that individuals see all day long. We're the only people who say hello to them. When we say happy birthday to somebody and their like face lights up because nobody said it to them today, like, I love that. I love that we can provide that space. My family and I travel a lot, so I try to find a why anywhere I go. And I love that every time, no matter where I am, no matter how isolated or in a crazy spot or a new spot, I feel like I know something. I've been able to like always find that community. And then
Yeah.
on a personal level, I love our EEC and our camp programming here. My daughter started coming here in Kid Stop when she was just a baby, and then by the time I started working here, she was just 2, and she went through the entire EEC program all the way up through. We kept her here for kindergarten, and she's been at camp every single day. And like we don't live in this community, so for her, I was always concerned about her adjusting from the community we live in and then back here because she, in my mind, wouldn't have friends. But it's like every time she leaves for the season, it's like she's never left. She comes back, she remembers every kid. The counselors know her, the staff know her. She walks around, she'll hug everybody who walks by her. She's probably giving you a hug. Like, she just feels like so much at home here. Like, she cannot wait to, she's 9, but she cannot wait to be 15, 16 years old and work here. The
Yeah.
other day she was like, "Yeah, after I'm a CIT." And I was like, "How do you even know what that is?"
Right,
Like,
right,
she's already thinking that. So
right.
for me, having her grow up here has been just an incredible experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something very special for sure. I mean, my
Hmm.
two older kids work at Camp Sargent, which is where I started my career. And so that full circle that, not just that generational thing, but also that my kids were brought up here too, whether it
Yeah,
was the EEC camp, sports, swim, all of it. CIT, they attended that as well. For them to then turn around and invest their time is
yeah,
really, it speaks volumes, right? Because as young people, they want to work someplace that they enjoy. And so for them to turn to the why for that, for one of their very first working experiences, just really it speaks volumes. And it's
yeah.
cool. I get like goosebumps when I think about it. I
I know, I
really
love
do.
it.
I mean, it's amazing. And I also what you said about for you guys, you don't live in this community. I live in one of the communities that we serve, but not
Hmm.
directly in Nashua. And so that evidence that community can be built anywhere, that you don't have to
Yeah,
belong to the geographical community to be a part of a community. I love that. And that's exactly
yeah,
what we do at the Y. It's amazing.
yeah.
That's great. So what's some advice that you may have? Because you obviously you
Hmm.
serve our regular members that have been here for years, but also you deal with new members or potential
Yeah.
members often. So what's some advice that you have for someone that is, newly joined the Y or is thinking about joining the Y, to have, make sure that they have a great experience with us?
Yeah. I would say that the most important thing is to take our help. Don't be so many people come in and I can tell that they're nervous, they're intimidated, they're not sure, like they're going to sign up, they're going to walk out the door, but when are they coming back? Right. So we have so many people here who can help. We offer like smart start orientations to the equipment. And it's something that when I can see that nervousness, or even when pretty much any new member that comes in, I'm always trying to advocate for them to sign up for one of those, because it's just a good way to meet another staff member. Like if you have an hour-long orientation with Amy Doyle, you're going to remember Amy, right? Like you're going to know that you know somebody here and you're going to know a familiar face. You're going to be able to stop and ask that person a question. And to get that orientation, like you're not coming down and looking at a bike and going, oh, geez, how do I get on this bike? How do I set this up? Like you have somebody who can just go through everything with you and then ask questions like during that orientation or at the welcome center, like ask the questions. I'm kind of interested in yoga, but I don't know. This yoga that says fit yoga seems intimidating. Like, where do I start? You know, we have sometimes I think we have so much that people get overwhelmed by it because we do offer just an incredible amount of stuff. But if you ask the questions and you take the time to find someone who's going to help you, we can really like tailor that experience to you.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would say set a goal for your first day. If you want to swim in a lap lane, like ask the welcome center to print you off a schedule and commit to coming at 10 a.m. the next day when that lane is open. You know, get that smart start scheduled so that you have that first day commitment in your calendar, in your brain, and you're ready to go. You know, don't let like the facility or the gym, how do you say it? Gym intimidation.
Yeah.
Like, don't let it get you because it's really not like that.
Right.
And we have such an incredible amount of things that we can offer, but it's like take it one step at a time. Like figure out the first thing that you're excited about.
Yeah, and I think too, I love your point about asking for help because I think a lot of times, like, you know, when you're a new member, you don't know when the busy times versus the down times are. And sometimes when it's busy, that like a lot of people don't like that, or that it's, you know, more challenging to find equipment or whatever it may be. But instead of asking, sometimes people will just experience it and then they think that it's busy all the time. So I love that, to just ask questions, try different times, try different classes, and you find your areas of interest and your, you know, and then like communities, right? So like group X classes, there's little sub communities there too. Yeah,
I would also highly recommend going to all the branches.
Yes,
right? Like so many people sign up and they see this is their home branch. Like I travel between all the branches and it's really not, the distance it's not a huge distance. Like between Westwood Park and Merrimack is like 10, maybe 15 minutes of traffic. Nashua's a little bit farther from Merrimack, but we're all within like a good distance of each other. But every branch is a little bit different, a little bit unique. And you'd be amazed, like if you go to another branch, people will be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea how quiet Westwood was. Right? Pickleball, I didn't know what that was. Or, you know, I had no idea you had 2 pools in Nashua. You know, so even if you're driving like 5 more minutes to get to a branch that really just suits your like individual needs, it's better than just assuming that this is the only branch we have.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So what's something exciting that you have coming up? I know you have a couple things.
Yeah, we've got a couple of things. So we currently have our July promo going on. So that'll end July 31st. It's $1 down, no dues until August, which is a really good deal. We are like ramping up our promo deals for the summer. So we'll have another one coming out in August. We don't have exactly that lined up yet, but we'll definitely have one. We usually do a food drive in August, so mid-August to mid-September. That's traditionally what we do. We're not saying that we're not going to do that this year, but we're definitely going to try to, you know, revamp it or make it a little bit more unique this year. We have a new app coming out. So it's a relaunch of Y360. So we currently, all members have access to Y360, but we've spent the last year really putting some work into having our schedules be in Y360, and identifying like how Y360 is going to look, how we're going to market, how we're going to brand it, how we're going to do notifications and things like that. So that will be our only app, and that will launch August 17th. So members are starting to get emails about that now. I'm really excited about that app because of one like pretty nerdy thing, which is it has the same login as your Y account. So it's
Uh,
one login for everything.
yeah, I would say not so nerdy more. That's convenient, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it is convenient. It
yeah,
is.
yeah,
So
that's
that's been
great.
our biggest complaint has been that our app is two different logins. So this one
Yeah.
will have one, and the Welcome Center will be able to easily transition people there. We are in the midst of planning a big family event, so we're going to have a big event. Date is still TBD, so more information to come when we have that scheduled. But it'll be a big thank you to our families and end of camp,
Yeah.
event at the end of the summer. What else do we have coming up? September session A. So session A registration will be released soon. We've got a lot of new programs. Aquatics is looking pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot coming.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So to our non-staff audience members, our fiscal year is September through August. So it's kind of like that's how we look at years. And then of course our terms, start over in September. So it's really for us right now, we're in the middle end of July, really. It's the end of year, right? And so it's really exciting. It's such an exciting time because we're in the middle of summer camp, which is just like so great. And starting to taper that off, but then getting really excited about some of the stuff that we have coming up. We have some new leadership coming on. Our CEO, Mike LaChance, is retiring after 30 plus years with us, 40 plus with the Y movement. And Joe Manzoli's coming into that position. So lots of exciting stuff. We just hired a couple new VPs and another one coming on, and just some really great stuff. So we just get super excited because it's like, to us, it's like December right now.
Yeah,
You know,
it really
it's
is.
yeah. So what's something that so like, because, and I know my answer. Well, I have multiple
Sure.
answers to this question, but you know, being so immersed in the why, you know everything that's going on. But what's something that you wish more people knew about our organization?
Wow, there's a lot of good answers to that. Um, Gosh, there's a lot of little programs and little things that I find that members don't always know about. Sometimes it's Kid Stop.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's that we have certain classes, that we have like some really high-end wellness classes as well. We offer such a range of things that I think that there are times when people think they have to go somewhere else to find, some of these things, but we actually have them all here.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing is our financial assistance program. So our Y Cares program, we serve so many members, whether it's sending a kid to camp or discounted memberships or discounted programs. And, people don't realize that like, A, we offer that, and B, how easy it is and how easy and how many things that opens up for people, right? And
Yeah.
it's not just on the Y Cares side, it's on the donation side too. So, when people give, I don't know that it's always they're always thinking that like, oh my gosh, this might send a kid to camp,
Hmm.
right? That like we have kids that can't afford camp, and they need their parents need the childcare, or we have
Right.
members who come in and they're like, I can't afford a membership, and they don't realize like how impactful our financial assistance program can be for them.
Yeah.
Um, or that it's an open application. All you have to do is ask. There's no
Right.
there's no cap to how many people we serve, and things like that. And then other things like Westwood Park. I have so many people that still say to me, "I had no idea this existed," and
Right.
it's such an awesome facility. And or people don't go there because they associate it with a sports complex,
Hmm.
and they don't realize that there's like a really cool walking track there. There's a big wellness program there. It's very quiet in the summer. We have pickleball there in the winter. So that's definitely. I hate when I hear that because I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are missing out. Like Westwood Park is so great.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I mean, and there's a fitness area, and to your point, it's sometimes quieter there, so it's a little bit more private. Like if you're someone that, wants a guarantee of getting on a machine or wants the privacy, it's a little bit more conducive for that.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that's all valid points and ones I run into often as well. So, um, what's something that you like to do for fun?
Well, my husband and I are big travelers recent big travelers. So we have always been campers. We have a family camp in Pennsylvania. So we've been going there, but we recently bought an RV. So we're very excited about that.
Nice.
It has been a game changer for us. So I'm like ready to drive all over. So yeah, traveling has been a huge thing. We're really trying to like just give our daughter like the most like 90s kid childhood that she can have, send her outside on the bike and say goodbye. But so that we're also big cyclists. So we've been cycling. I like to run, so wellness is a big part of my life as well, which is also the reason why one of the reasons I love working at the Y, because I can kind of incorporate all of that, into all of that together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. And do you have any running races coming up? I can't remember. Do you
Yeah,
have?
August 8th, I'm doing the Delta Dental, the corporate race with my father-in-law. He's running for St. Anselm's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're not traveling that weekend
Yeah.
because I promised him I would race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, I got one more question for you. It's always my
Okay.
favorite icebreaker, and it has become the way that I'm closing out this podcast. So, share with me what your first concert was.
Oh boy. Okay. So I'm embarrassed to say that I cannot remember if it was either Fish or Dave Matthews, but it was almost definitely one of those.
Okay. All right. All right.
And I was
I'm going to
probably
see,
much too young to be there.
yeah, right. I'm going to see Fish at Fenway in a couple weeks, and I've
Okay.
been to more than my share of Dave Matthews to the point where I don't remember. It's
Yeah.
between 20 and 30, I'm sure at this point, but
Oh,
so good,
we've
good
been a
taste in
million
music,
times.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I
Yeah. Thanks for
appreciate you
having
taking
me.
the time and getting to know a little bit about you. And to our audience, we will see you next time. You can download The Heart of the Y on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Castbox, and Spotify.